Welcome back. This is your Queen ShanShan from A Broadcast Podcast. We are back. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey.
It's been a minute. We took a nice little hiatus from the show for a while. Taking a breather is incredibly important because sometimes I do feel overwhelmed when you have so much things going on. You just want to you know what, Shannon, why am I putting myself in stress? So I just wanted to say we are back. We're back to rolling. We're back to filming. We have a new amazing guest we'll introduce in a minute. But if you guys don't know me, I'm Shannon, Queen ShanShan. I am the producer and the owner of A Broadcast Productions, or A Broad Productions, A Broadcast Podcast. I want to say hello to over our 10,000 followers altogether worldwide on YouTube, Instagram, Instagram, Facebook. So I want to just say thank you again for the amazing amount of support that we've been getting on the show for the last 2 or 3 months. We've been in production since 2018, but we are still progressing in our little show and our little production. So we have Simeon here, who is our navigator in the background. Say hi, Simeon. Hey. And so we're off. So let's get into it. We are here introducing my really good friend, Kirk Green. Hi, Kirk.
Hi.
You're back.
I am back.
Now, Kirk was on our OG show back in 2019.
Right.
We don't remember. I got to look it up. It was episode 8 or episode 9.
Something like that. It was early days.
Yes, early days.
Over the dining room table.
Yes, and we were talking about your staging business.
Yes.
And we had a really good, interesting conversation about one of the clients that you were visiting that had a little sex room in there, right?
A dungeon.
A dungeon.
A dungeon.
So we're gonna go into your other.
Not that I'm against it,
right?
But I walked in and I was like, no.
No, we cannot have this in the staging process.
Like, can we just lock it? I'm like, well, they're gonna want to look inside. Mm-hmm. What are we buying? Well, we're not buying
a dungeon.
Yeah,
a dungeon.
Yeah.
So
whip it on out of here.
Right. So you've been doing this business for a while. So we're going to talk about the ups and downs of staging. He's an interior designer, interior decorator. What's been going on, obviously, since we've last spoke. I mean, he's a good friend. I see him all the time.
Yeah.
But
friends forever.
Friends forever. Yeah, friends for a long time. So we're going to get into the tea. We're going to talk about my recent travels. I just got back from Europe. I went to Prague, Vienna, and Berlin. It was amazing. So we'll talk about those travels. And, it's officially summer now. So we're excited. So we're going to talk about what's going on for the summer, what's going to be the trends, your new favorite restaurant that you just discovered, and my restaurant that I discovered as well. That's a really cool pop-up stop that's been blowing up in Los Angeles. So we have lots of tea. Lots of tea. So I'm
excited.
I know, me too. Let's get to our sponsors, and we will be right back.
Gosh, Shannon, I'm looking for some insurance, and it doesn't seem like anybody's wanting to work today. Nobody calls me back on my car insurance or my home insurance, my renter's insurance, nothing. Can you help me?
Absolutely. There's a great company that I work with called SD Langhorne Insurance Services, aka ShanShan, and they actually answer your call.
Wait a minute. You mean I don't have to text a robot and do a chat window for them?
No, when you actually call SD Langhorne Insurance Services, ShanShan.com, they pick up the phone and they will give you great competitive rates in today's market for auto insurance, renter's insurance, general liability, and also workers' comp.
What? Is there a phone number or a website?
You can definitely email them at shaninsure.com, and they will have you fill out a form and they will contact you immediately.
I'm on it. Doing it now.
Contact SD Langhorne Insurance Services or shaninsure.com for your insurance needs today. Hello, broads. We're back. So let's get into the tea, Mr. Kirk Green.
I'm down. I'm thirsty.
I have known you for at least 15 years.
Yeah.
And the reason why I know Kirk is that he was with other good friend of mine for a while. You guys broke up.
Yeah.
And so we became friends from that, because I was friends with his partner.
I got you out of the breakup.
I got you. Yeah, I got you.
And it
out
wasn't
of the
really
breakup.
a breakup. I decided it was just
It was a mutual
we outgrew
breakup.
each other, and it was time to move on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we're still great friends.
And when my mom was still here, that your partner, we won't name his name because I want to respect his privacy.
Yes.
But when I cried the day that you guys texted me and said that you were breaking up, and I was like,
It shattered a
I
lot of
felt
girls.
like I was getting broken up
Yeah.
because
That's
I'd
what
known them
every-
from inception. I knew them when they were together, how they met, and it broke my heart that you guys were broken up.
Yeah.
You know, it's when we have friends that break up with friends that we love, it's like, oh, why?
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
I was brokenhearted that
Yeah.
and it just tore my heartstrings.
Yeah.
You know,
And some of my friends that I had brought into the group loved him as
yes,
well.
yes,
And they were like, how is this going to work?
yeah,
And so one of our friends said, we're all meeting here at this time, at this place, and everyone show up. And everyone showed up, and they're like, you guys just seem so calm and
yeah.
cool. And I
And
was
to
like,
this day, you're still
well,
good friends with
we're
him.
choosing that. You
And
know,
you
it's
are
difficult to go through to feel those emotions and letting go.
Exactly.
But it was needed, and it was time. And we both have grown immensely.
Immensely.
And have found other wonderful people that we've experienced.
Absolutely. What I like about it is that they're still friends. They're even though they're
Oh, yeah.
exes, they're still very close friends, and you're friends with his
Oh, yeah.
soon-to-be husband.
Love him.
Yes, we all love
Yeah.
him. So you know that's part of being a mature person.
Yeah.
Part of growth as well. And you know, when I broke up with my man, I was like, oh, I can't stand him. I still can't stand him. I have no idea where he is. I don't know if he's buried. I don't know if he's married. I don't know, but that was a horrible experience.
Well, if he is, you had nothing to do with that.
No, no, I don't even know. All I know is that he's probably living with his mommy and daddy still. He's
Oh,
such a
geez.
loser.
Well,
Anyways,
Yeah, you're a different person as a result
I'm
of
a different
letting
person.
that go too.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And we've grown together.
We've grown together.
Called each other in moments of need, you know,
Yes.
and just needing to be heard.
Absolutely.
And then there's been moments where we were like, bitch, are you kidding me right now? Did you just say that to me? Or I didn't like that. That hurt my feelings.
But you know what we do is
work
that we
through those
apologize.
things. Yes.
And that's the thing
love.
about being again mature is like, if I mess up or you've messed up, you know, Kirk,
can own
I'm
it.
so sorry.
Yeah.
I said this.
We
Is
own
it you said the same thing to me? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Shannon. Okay, when are we gonna get a cocktail?
Yeah.
You know, one thing about it, Kirk, as I love, is that during COVID, you were actually one of my first friends that came over when COVID was COVID, when COVID was COVID.
And I was like, I don't want to wear a mask. You're like,
He
"You have
came
to."
over he came over that March or that April. It was before my birthday,
Yeah.
and we watched The Color Purple.
Yes.
And we
Oh.
cried because we love The Color
Every
Purple.
time.
We cry every time we watch that
Yep.
stupid movie.
Oh, it's one of my favorites.
One of my still favorites to this
Yeah.
day. The OG, obviously.
Uh-huh.
And that was like a pure time of us being together. Bonding because we couldn't really see a lot of people. Being single in COVID sucked.
Yeah.
You know, and so it was like I was thirsty for my friends and my family, and you know, mom and dad was still with us, so I was going through their sicknesses and you know and trying to navigate when I could see my mom and dad during that because I didn't want to
Yeah.
get them sick.
Right.
To this day, I still haven't got COVID.
Me neither.
You haven't got COVID either?
No.
Knock, knock, knock.
Well, we won't get it now.
I hope
Our
so.
immunity is so high, unless a bigger strand of COVID
Well,
comes. Who knows?
honey, that was on the news yesterday.
Yes.
People getting sick again. Summer COVID.
Mhm.
I have 2 friends right now have COVID right now.
Don't know what that's like. and
Yeah.
Don't even want to go.
Don't
there.
even want to go there.
No.
Anyways, Kirk, tell us about you. What do you do, and why did you start to be in the interior design business?
Well, when I came to LA, I had the big dream of the actor, and I worked on a soap for a quick summer, and realized I did not like the industry. I did not like the people. That was so not me. And I had other an agent say, you need to be. This is where, you need to be in front of the camera. I was like, but that doesn't work for me. So as I was on that show, I was always behind the camera looking at how are these things done, what's up, and I'd look through the camera, I'd see the set, and I'd see
So you were more comfortable being behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why was that? Why didn't you not want to be in front of the camera?
I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want people looking at me
Interesting.
because
You're a good-looking man, my
but
friend.
when you look at yourself in the mirror, you tell yourself a different story, and that's what I'd like to. That's what is part of what we will be talking about later, in my personal growth. So at that time, I didn't see what other people saw. I saw the negative sides of it, what I was told when I was little. And so to have that much focus on me was overwhelming. And so being behind the camera, I could see a creative outlet where I could show my creativity and my talent, but I'm not in it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I got it.
So that's what, and then, doing this. I started off in like art department, and I'm an art. I can paint. I can do anything really. So I was doing all those kind of things, spray painting, making things look old, or building a little set that looked like a little diner, that kind of thing. Loved it. And then that became very cutthroat, and it was an industry where, you were used overtime and overtime and overtime and didn't really get paid for that. And then you were just left hung out to dry. Okay, show's over.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
See ya.
You worked with some big brands when you were doing the interior.
Hormel Chili.
Yeah,
I did,
Disney.
Motorola, Disney.
Yeah.
I did their really short reports. It was all the little kid movies that came out, like Enchanted and that kind of thing. And I would build the set. We had a reindeer come in, and we had a snowblower and that kind of thing. And little kids at the desk saying, "Here's Enchanted, and here's some of the scenes." And behind, a deer's walking by. It was crazy, but I was like, the money that these people had, and they kept it in that and not in our pockets. And
Right.
They were like, we can only pay this much, but I'm learning, right? And I'm growing, and excuse me, I'm learning and growing and figuring myself out as I go.
So what was the next stage after that?
So the HDTV started this home staging segment. I can't remember what it was, House Hunters or something, and they were furnishing these empty spaces and creating like a lived-in look. And I was watching that. I did 2 pilots for them, but then it wasn't worth the money for me to be on their show. I was making more money staging houses than I was being filmed doing it, And again, I didn't want to be here in front of the camera. So I went to a stager. I left that set decorating and art direction behind, went and called a few stagers, and I said, "Hey, do you need an assistant? I'll work for free, and I just want to learn what's this all about."
Because you were also a property manager.
And I was property managing at the same time.
So the income was coming from that other job, and
Right.
you had a place to live.
Yes.
So that's how you were able to say, "I work for free." Wow.
Yeah, I would work for free because
Okay.
After calling a few people, they're like, there isn't anybody, we don't need. I have my one assistant, and it's just the 2 of us.
Okay.
That was the beginnings of home staging. So I offered to this one woman to work for free, and she's like, "You can definitely work for free." And I'm like, "Great." So I was with her for 5 years. After like the first 3 or 4 months, she saw what I could do.
And then she was paying you.
And so then
Okay.
I was offered a position, and I became her lead designer. And there was talk about us being partners, and I have my team, she has her team, and that was just a carrot she was dangling in front of me, just to keep me. And then she was traveling and leaving me to do all the work while she's out having fun. Which as a business person, hey, people do that. Hey, you got the crew.
That's right.
Put them to work. I'm gonna go travel. I'm
Right.
gonna go live my life.
Right.
So that was that. But then I figured, I took her from a 4-car garage to a 5,000 square foot warehouse. I helped her restructure her business, and I was able to try the things that I could see. Hey, we could save money doing this. If we were a little faster here, we don't have to spend out so much money on this, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So once I figured out all of that, and then she's like, "Wow, you have really created a well-running machine." And I was like, ding, get out, do your own thing. So she has this client in West Hollywood, and his name is Keno Ryder. Love him. He's my first client. He's still my client. And it's been 10 years that I've been working with him. And, trying to speed it up. He called her, and she's like, "We don't go to West Hollywood." So she's like, "Hey, there's this realtor who has this little tiny piddly job. Why don't you do it? It'll be like a little extra money in your pocket." I'm like, "Sure." I went out, charged on my credit card, bought all the little things that I needed. The house was already on the market and it wasn't selling. I went in and sprinkled my magic, and they went into multiple offers. And he's like, "Whatever you did, I want you to do this for me from now on. This is amazing. Do you have a warehouse?" I'm like, "This is it.
This is it.
This is my warehouse. It's going to go home and go on my dining room table, basically, and under my table." And that's how it started. And she fired me
Okay.
because she heard
That you were starting your own
that I was
business.
doing my own thing, and I know all of her vendors, which I only took 2, but the rest of my vendors I've found on my own.
So you became a home stager,
On my own.
and then the company you was called Decor Revamp.
Yeah, that's my company.
Yes.
Yeah.
You started. That's where Decor Revamp started.
Yes,
Okay.
as a home staging and home design business, but it was more geared toward home staging because that's what I was doing.
Right. You were revamping someone else's decor.
Yeah.
So their houses look amazing. So if you guys don't know what home staging is, basically, can you explain what it is? Give us a 30-second elevator
for
speech.
the real estate market, A homeowner is selling their house and they are either living in it or they've moved into another house. So I do vacant furnishings and I do occupied furnishings. With an occupied, we would just rearrange their furniture so that it's more appealing. We create more space, and then I would fill in with something a little bit more modern, maybe a little contemporary to kind of bring it up to date, and it would sell. A vacant house, we would completely furnish it, art, greenery, everything, bedding, so it looks lived in, so that they can see this is how it can look.
And that's a lot of hard work. You're moving furniture.
Moving furniture
all the time.
All over Los Angeles.
All over Los Angeles. You have to get a truck.
Love it.
You got to get obviously people to help you move furniture. So you're moving people's houses just to make their house look good.
Yeah.
Or to furnish a vacant space. Yeah, it's good money.
Amazing
When
money.
the market was hot.
Oh, yes.
Now the market is a
large.
totally different. You were living large.
Well, this is where it's come to. Like the last year and a half has been quite the struggle, and then there would be a boost of work that comes in, and it's great money.
Yeah.
And I'm very efficient, and I don't have a lot of overhead or a lot of debt, so that's been saving me out of a lot of other stagers that have lost their business since COVID. So I've survived that up until now.
I know it was nuts for the 3 years of COVID when people were buying houses, when interest rates were wonderful, when people were getting interest rates of 2% and 3%. I refinanced my home, and I got an amazing rate on it.
Yeah.
And so, I know I hardly even saw you.
Yeah.
Because you were so busy.
Yeah.
Now that the market has definitely
turned upside down and
really
dried up.
Yeah, exactly. It's been very difficult for people in the real estate industry, which is now a recyclable event because you're part of that industry. And
it's kind of hit
struggling.
everyone, the
it's
realtors,
hit everyone. Mortgage, banks, lenders,
everybody,
loan officers,
yeah. And so
people
now,
in escrow, people who does the what's the word I'm looking for? Not the escrow, the title.
Mm-hmm.
People lose their jobs in title. But I used to be in real estate before I started insurance, and that was very marketable in 2003. And everybody was in it. I made so much money during that time. And then when the market took a hit in 2007, I was like, I couldn't find a job to save my life. And that's when I started insurance.
I was busy.
Yeah.
Because people were losing their houses, unfortunately.
Oh, that's right. The foreclosures.
Foreclosures, and the banks were taking them back, and there was just so much on the market that they were like, let's stage this, let's make it look as best as you can, or here's the budget.
Right.
And whenever I was given a budget, I always went above and beyond because that's another selling point. You know what I mean? It's still, they don't know how much I made off of it or how little I made. They just know it was a beautiful space, and that's me. Yeah. So then the next person comes along, and I would get phone calls from people. Oh, hey, Gene Crow said you're highly recommended, and they can't talk enough about you. And I was like, to my phone, Gene Crow. I have no idea who that is. I don't even know. So I was like, oh, well, tell Gene I said thank you.
Tell Gene I said hi.
Hi, Gene.
Thanks, Gene. When I get referrals for insurance, I'm like, oh, good God. Yes, so-and-so referred me to you. And I'm like, oh, God, who's John Johnson? No. Yeah. Because I want to send a thank you card to John Johnson. And I'm like, and I pretend that I remember because I literally have thousands of clients, and I'm very grateful for that. But it's hard for me to remember everybody.
Yeah, of course.
And during
it's like
COVID,
a Devil Wears Prada. You need your assistants on the side of you, and you're like, she's what?
Yeah. That
like,
scene.
Well, hello, Jean.
Well, hello.
Hi.
Hello. It's so good to see you and your wife.
And she's like, you're looking well.
Exactly. Such a good movie. So sometimes I got to fake the funk on that, but I'm very blessed about that. To this day, a lot of the clients that I've met because of COVID, because we had to do virtual meeting and virtual moments, I still haven't met them, and they're still my clients, and I've never know what they even look like.
That's who you are as a person. You are so inviting, so engaging,
Thank you.
So lovely. I mean, I fell in love with this one when I first met her, even though we had our little things back and forth, but we had to find that, we had to work through those things to be able to get here.
Of course.
And I wouldn't trade you in for anything. Bestie forever.
Here's my $100. $100 right there.
We're supposed to do this after the show.
So,
but anyway, back to that. So industry thing, and
in the midst of you talking, you've had to pivot. You've had to have many pivots.
Yes. We're
pivoting now. What's the pivot that you're going through now?
I'm closing the staging business. It has I've had since the Memorial Day was the first. It's the first
In May, last month.
Yeah, I get them to the first and the last confused every time. It's just like
The
block.
last weekend in May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that weekend, I'm in Palm Springs. I've got lots of work lined up, and it was a good month. I mean, we're talking maybe $40,000 month. Beautiful.
That's a great
right?
month.
Great month. And within that weekend, every job canceled or went away. In that weekend, because there's so little on the market, the realtors were like, we don't need to stage. I've already have 4 buyers already that are interested in this. So as soon as we get it on the market, it's done. And I would have the sellers call me and say, I'm so sorry, Kirk. We need to cancel. We already have an offer. And I was like,
Who is buying these homes at 6% right now? It's at 6.5% mortgage rate. Who's buying these multi-million-dollar homes
that have
in Los
cash
Angeles?
Flow. And it's the people who have cash flow. Like these houses are selling for cash. A lot of.
Who's got $1 million cash in their bank like that? I just like.
Well, here's what on Emily, my sister, she's a realtor as well, and she's like, you need to see this article. There was a little 1-bedroom house in San Gabriel. There was this bridge. It was probably 20 or 30 feet tall, very narrow, right? There was a like an aqueduct or whatever, for the floodwaters to go through, and there was between two hills that didn't touch, but it was very narrow. So they built this arc bridge, super cool, super unique, and then somebody built a house on top of it. 1-bedroom house. That's all the space it was. It was on the market for it was on the market for 700 and ridiculous, right? Just under $1 million. It went 189,000 over asking because there wasn't anything else in that area.
Wow.
And it was a unique place. But that's what people are willing to do.
Wow.
Let's
in San Gabriel Valley.
In San Gabriel Valley.
Amazing.
But to leave the home staging world, that's my main source of income and my passion and my love. I'm able to, where I am now in my life and where I have the things that I have worked through, I can let it go.
Okay.
I can let it go. And I'm letting it go and it feels good because there's new things coming already.
So let's get into it. You sent a text to me, I think after that weekend, and said, Shannon, I want to talk to you. I'm thinking about quitting. I'm like, what? And I'm thinking about moving to Florida. And I'm like, what? Florida of all places. Why Florida? Jesus. And so when you sent me that text, I was like, I don't know where. I think you sent it to me when I was in Europe.
Yes. Right.
And so we gotta talk. And so I got back home, and then you and I had a conversation.
Yeah.
And you said that you felt that this particular job is not serving you. Yeah. It's not making you happy. Right. It's not just the money. It's not serving you.
Yeah.
You've done it. You've done it for such a long time, and you want to move to Florida because you had this business opportunity. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, finish the story.
The business opportunity wasn't panning out in the time that it was presented, so I would need to sell off my inventory, which is approximately 8 to 10 houses worth of furniture.
Wow.
I had a lot. I obtained a lot. I was doing a lot. And then I had to close that out, pack up my apartment and my car and head to Florida.
And drive to Florida.
With a new beginning.
Yeah.
And it was so overwhelming.
I'm sure.
To me. You were like, how are you doing this?
Yeah. Who do you know in Florida?
But
you're like my brother. He's like my brother. Like, what? I did not give them full permission to do this. And Florida.
Yeah, I have, several years in Florida when I was in my nomad days, as I like to call it, because I just lived everywhere and I was a beach bum. And then I decided to go to art school and grow my hair out and be an art bum.
Yeah.
But it was a journey, right? And I learned a lot about myself.
And
I can survive.
You were going to move in August. I'm like, God, you're going to move to Florida in the worst time to move to Florida. Hurricane season, hot as hell.
Yeah. But that's what I was willing to do for this type of opportunity.
Right.
And it's still a good opportunity. It's still there. It's still on the table. Like this person I've known since I was living in Florida when, in my nomad days. She's built quite a successful business for herself, and she's very well known in the West Palm Beach area. And it's beautiful, and there's a lot of money there.
Yeah.
And people come into her store all the time. Do you have a designer? No. She used to be the designer. She doesn't have to do it anymore.
Right.
She's like, people would take you and they would love you and you'd be so good here, but you got to build that yourself.
Right.
So going there with having to rebuild in a whole new place when I'm totally fine in the place that I'm at, and I still have work coming in. I figured, yeah, let's put that on the back burner. Talked it over. She's like, it's always going to be here.
So what are we doing now
So I'm focusing now on the home design part of
versus not staging?
not staging. It has nothing to do with staging.
Okay.
So my pitch is always, if you're looking to reinvent your space, and if you're reinventing yourself, like I'm reinventing myself now, so I'm reinventing my whole living environment, my whole new couch, new chairs,
And
just
you're moving.
new. Yeah, it's like I'm moving, and I'm moving into a new place, but I'm settled in my place, so it's a new beginning, and I want a new environment for myself.
Right.
So I am helping people redesign their space who are on a budget, and then I'm also helping people redesign with a budget.
Right.
And we get used to the same things in our place that we don't even notice them anymore. You know what I mean? We get into our environment, we find it's a comfort place, and then we settle in. But I'm always a big advocate for, let's change things up a little bit, because when you change things in your living space, you can change things in this space too. You know what I mean? And it becomes an inward and outward connection.
I live in a 1,000 square foot home here in Los Angeles. I have my other house that I own 2 hours east of here. And Kirk helped me rearrange my space in my apartment to where it looks now, where it's more spacious. I bought these huge couches that were too big for my apartment.
She was sending me photos from the store, and she's like, what do you think of this one? And she's like, I was like, Shannon, they're giant. And she goes, but I like it.
I love them, and I
was
love
like,
them to this
if you
day.
have to have it, we can make it work.
And we made it work.
Yeah,
They're
work.
huge. If you guys look at my Instagram pictures, I'm always filming on my couch, because that's my second home, my couch. This couch that I love.
But
and it's big for they're 3 pieces of furniture.
But entertaining
because I have people over all the time.
There's a seat for everybody in the house.
There's a seat for everybody in the house.
All front row seating. And that's where all the laughter and fun comes from.
And you help paint the when I had the not turquoise, but the seafoam blue green.
Yeah, aqua.
Yeah, and now I redid my apartment again, so it's now a nice little. It's like, I don't want to call it a baby blue, but it's a sky blue.
Like
and then
blue.
We're working on, when I get back from some other stuff that I'm doing this month. We're going to work on the dining room. So I got the dining room colors, and I'm going to put wallpaper.
Yeah.
And Kirk's been helping me with that. And my other friend Stacy, we had another. My friend Stacy was giving her 2 cents in that. So with that being said, that he's helped me reengage my room, and it helped reengage my life and my outlook. And when I see my living room, because if we keep stagnant, I've been living in this apartment for 27 years.
Yeah.
I have been living in this one place for 27 years.
Yeah.
And when I tell people I live there, people are like, there's no way, because it always looks fresh. It's clean.
Yeah.
And I redecorate. I do niche stuff in my apartment, making sure that it is up to date. And
I'm always a soundboard for you.
You're always,
like,
absolutely.
What do you think about this? I'm like, that's not going to work with this, and here's the reason why.
Right.
And that's how I'm known. Like, I can explain things to people. Like, they have a vision in their head, and they can't see it in its visual sense. That's where I come in.
So what you do, just like with what I do, like, I sell insurance. That's my main gig. I'm an insurance broker. My main goal is to meet John Smith and tell him about life insurance or car insurance, whatever insurance that's going to fit their budget, their needs, whatever. My job has become almost like a therapist now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same.
We talk little business, and then all of a sudden we're talking about life
experience and life changes and
why he's doing this or why she's doing this. Oh, I got a divorce. Oh, I'm getting married. Oh, I'm gonna have a baby.
Yeah.
Oh, my mom passed away. Oh, my dad passed away. We lost this house. We now to get this small house. These are life decisions that have made them come to me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then so we talk about it, and all of a sudden we're crying, and I'm hugging you, and and I'm sure you're getting the same experience because people want to share. You can have the most introverted people as clients or the most extroverted people as clients.
Right.
Either way, I don't care who you are.
People want to share.
They want to talk
and
about themselves.
And they want to feel needed, loved,
that
viewed, contacted,
respected.
whatever the word, respected. This reminds me of a story, and if I cry, sorry. I went into this gay couple's house, older men, and his partner died of prostate cancer, and he had only been gone like 3 months, and the surviving partner, just couldn't be in the place anymore because there was just too many memories, and they had all of the things all, he had to have it this way, and now I can't even touch it. And so
I get it.
being in that space with
I get
them,
it.
I was there for like maybe 2 hours or more, right? Just walking through and just asking questions about this, that, or the other thing. And then he started getting emotional, and he apologized, and I said, "There's no apology needed. Can I hug you?" I hugged him, and as I was hugging him, I was doing this on his back, and he had a bunch of lumps in his back. So, and he's like, "I'm sick too." And he didn't tell me that, but he could tell I could feel the lumps in his back. So I started getting emotional with him, but I thought, he's needing me to support him right now because there's nobody here.
Total
He's
stranger.
telling me, total stranger. And he's in my arms, and I'm hugging him. And I said, "Look, this is life. We come and go for whatever reason. And sometimes it's not a good journey out. And sometimes it's too quick." I said, "But we can only go with what we have, right?" So I was talking to him. I said, "Thank you for sharing this with me. And let's take another walk through the house now that we've connected a little bit better. Let me try and help you figure out if this is something that you can't touch. Can I?
Can you physically touch?
Yeah.
Or
like
just...
he couldn't touch it because his partner was like, "I love this the way that this is, and this is mine."
Got it.
Now that he's gone, he can't touch it because that's what he's left with. That's his memory. He couldn't touch that. So he doesn't want, out of respect. So, can I do that? And he's like, "Well, what's your plan?" And I said, "Well, here, this is going to look better over there. And it's going to look great next to that piece of furniture." "Okay." Put it over there. And he goes, "Do you think he's going to be mad?" I was like, "No, he's not going to be mad. He's probably saying, 'I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to put that on you. I'm in another place now, and this is great. So you can do whatever you want with that.
Exactly.
I'll just be here when you're ready. When you're ready, I'll be here with you too.'" You know what I mean?
Right.
So I kind of put that out there too. It's like, he's probably saying, "Oh my God, do it. Do it." So we rearranged the space, and then we ended up doing the whole thing. We downsized, we put things in storage, he donated things, and he thanked me afterwards. He's like, "I feel like I've got a new lease on life." And I said, "That's so wonderful." But I didn't think it was me until after the conversation. He's like, "You helped me sell my house. I have a whole new life to live now. And I want to thank you for having me step over onto the other side."
That's wonderful.
Goes, "It's been such a..." And I was like, that's the therapy. You know
That's
what I mean?
the
Like,
therapy.
that's
Yeah.
divorcing people, and they're in the same house. And they're like, "I want that." "Okay, well then you can..." "No, I want that." "Guys, let's have a talk first. We can't fight over this. We've got to sell
mine.
your house. Yeah, we've got to sell your house. This is your goal.
Yeah.
These are things.
Yeah.
Things."
Have you been in a situation where it was really uncomfortable?
Yes. There was a woman who was an oncologist,
Okay.
and she walked in the door. I was already in her place, and it was in Beverly Hills. I was already in her place with the realtor. We're walking through, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I can pair stuff with her stuff and fill it in, She walks in the door with these two other guys. She looked like Morticia. It's August. It's 96 degrees outside, and and it's not even the what was the holiday?
Labor Day.
Labor Day. Hot as you know what out, and she walks in black stockings and a black dress with this little white thing on her shoulder, and her hair, black eyes, makeup, smoked out eyes. She looked like Sharon Stone's sister, basically, but in like Morticia form.
Yeah.
She walked in the door and she's like, "Hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm an oncologist, and sometimes I help people die."
That was her introduction?
That was her introduction to me, and I just kind of go,
What the
"Well,
heck?
hi, so-and-so. Very nice to meet you." And I'm thinking, I look over at the realtor, and he's kind of like, this, roll with it. Okay, I'm like, I'm on. Okay. So I told her walked her through the whole thing, and she's like, "Oh, this is great. Do you have photos? Blah, blah, blah." Yeah, sure. I drafted the contract. I went over it with her, bullet pointed the whole thing. She's on. I love this. She wrote the check for the whole thing. Didn't even think twice about it. Right?
Wow.
Came in, staged it. Mind you, she's getting furniture from a used place, right? It's not top of the line. But because she got it, it's high end and it's the best. I bring in my thing and it doesn't have a name tag on the bottom of it. But it looks great with her couch. So she calls me and she's like, "I'm so sorry. Actually, I'm not. It's horrible and everything needs to go. Your stuff is filthy. It doesn't work. It's clashing with all of my things." And I said, "Well, so-and-so." I don't want to give her a name.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want to be sued.
I'm like, "Hey,
Thanks.
The realtors took the photos. It looks great. There's already people
She's
interested.
selling the house.
She's selling.
Why does she care?
Yeah, and I said, this is not about you. It's about appealing to
Right.
the masses, getting the foot traffic in and getting you that dollar.
Correct.
That's what this is about. And I've explained this to you before. She goes, well, I want a refund and I want it all gone. So I was like, no refund. Read your contract. We went over it twice in person. No refund. And I'll be there tomorrow to pick it up. And that was the day, the holiday. So I had my U-Haul truck and I was carrying furniture out of her
I know
place
you're pissed.
by myself. I didn't want a bad name. The realtor was like, Kirk, it looked great. I mean, you gave her a great deal. She was complaining about a lot of things. She's not a very pleasant person. This is just who she is. So just take the money and go.
So she was a very well-known doctor,
She's
probably doing
Cedars.
Yes, of course.
Cedars.
Of course.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, there's been those kinds of stories,
Yeah.
but very, very few.
very few like that.
have been two.
Okay. Very good.
But the rest have all just been wonderful and word of mouth. And
Right.
I would stage their house, and then they would say, "Oh, can you come
Right.
and help us in our new house?"
Yeah.
That's where the home design
Right.
part came from. So now
So
focusing on that and moving forward.
So again, going back to what we said a few minutes ago about pivoting, you're going back into doing something that is still not, it's not home staging, but more of a consulting business, right?
It's more of consulting. It's also furnishing.
Furnishing.
It's also, designing. I have a full line of vendors. We could open up walls. We can do tile work. We can do countertops, electrical, flooring, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I've
Good.
got it all
Very
covered.
good. So I bought this book because that's why it's sitting here. Very easy read. It's called "Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway." And I was on a retreat with some girls last year in Thailand, and Mia Bolden, she's the one who suggested this book. It's literally less than 100 pages, and it has some just common sense threads that we take advantage of as every day. And I come across from people who feel that I'm very confident, and as a salesperson, someone who's extroverted, I can come across very confident. But believe it or not, I have my shy moments. I have
we
my,
all do.
I
We
have,
all do.
I've been noticing ever since I turned 50, 2 years ago. I'm 52 now. That I'm enjoying Shannon time more than ever.
Yeah.
Than just being out and about. I was the one
too, more than ever.
Aw.
And Kirk time.
and Kirk time.
But I get it.
But
totally get it.
I really am enjoying staying home. I would, if you guys know me, if you all my friends who know me, I was out in the streets almost every day.
Always going.
Always going out in the
We always
streets.
ask her, how does she do it?
What's
she works
next
this
part?
job all
Yeah.
the time, and she's out.
Yeah. I think COVID has a lot to do with it because obviously we couldn't go anywhere at the first 2 years. That helped really humble me, in terms of staying home and reading and being one with myself.
Yes.
But now we could be outside. We could be outside. I'm like, no, I want to be inside.
Yeah.
I just been doing things on my own, and I'd love to travel by myself, and a lot of people are
That is
scared to do that.
Not me.
Not
Yet.
Not yet. You still want to have
since COVID.
You still want to have a company with you.
Yeah, well, not so much anymore now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Since, like I was telling you earlier, like during COVID, there was this challenge, and there was 4 levels to it. And, the first one was like no cell phone
Right.
for like 24 hours.
Right.
Disconnect from social media
Good.
and all that stuff, right? Then the next level was that plus a couple of other things. Then the next level was that plus blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So the 4th one was you couldn't do anything. You can't write things down. You can't journal. You just have to be in yourself.
Which means staying home or
Staying
walking
home.
out or getting exercise or what?
No, you can go for a walk, but
Okay.
you can't engage with anyone. You have to be with yourself. You can go out and appreciate nature and that kind of thing because that's also cathartic. I went for the 4. It was tough. The first you wake up and you're in a dark space, blinds drawn, for up to 5 hours.
Wow.
I was there for 4.
No TV, nothing.
Nothing. I could only go pee and drink some water. That was all that I was limited to.
So you just had to stay in the house by yourself?
Stay in
the
house
dark?
No, in the beginning. That's what they
Oh.
have to break it up. When you get up in the morning, you go into a meditative state and you start searching for the things that you want to change or heal.
Okay.
So I went into all my traumatic moments, my childhood abuse. And, I would get triggered by somebody would say something the wrong way, and I would be all over you. whether I could beat you up or not. I would still, with my words, or I would just jump on, push you around.
Right.
I was a very angry person, an aggressive person.
Which is so shocking to me because everyone loves you.
Yeah,
Everyone who meets you, they love you.
I'm so, and and with when I went into my relationship with my partner, that's the first time I allowed love in, and I allowed love out for someone.
Right.
So that was like my first experience with that. So that's when the change in me started to happen. Like, he did see quite a few angered situations. But anyway, I went in and got my little person, my little boy that were in those traumatic moments. I interrupted the traumatic moment as an adult. Get back. Don't talk to him like that anymore. And I just put my hand out. I said, get up off the floor. And I'm so sorry that I've left you here this long. And you're still here. Well, we don't have to be here anymore. Take my hand and we're leaving this experience. It's just a memory now that we don't never have to be triggered by again.
Exactly.
And I've done that in all of my traumatic moments.
And that's what you had to do in this exercise.
And that's what I did with this exercise. And it just then I went into the living room, and then I was in my space with this new thought. And it was emotional. I cried.
Of course. But it was a fear. Was it scary?
Oh.
Terrifying.
Yes.
Terrifying.
Because I had to break that up.
This is what I wanted to, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I wanted to read this because we all have certain fears that we have to
overcome.
We have to overcome. I'm still afraid of heights.
Me too.
But what did I overcome when I went to Italy? I went on as big as I am, this big old booty, went on these scary one chair lifts in Capri, in the island of Capri in Italy. And it's gorgeous. It looks like the ski
like
lifts.
A tourist thing, like you're.
It's a ski lift, but for you sitting down on the island, it's about a mile long. It's one chair, and you go up on this hill. It's gorgeous, and you see 360 views of Capri. You can see Naples. You can see all the coastline of Italy. It was gorgeous, but I was scared because I'm sitting by myself in this one chair, and I'm like, I'm a big girl, so I was just like, it's creeping, like a scary, like it's
bouncing a little bit,
scary. But I'm also enjoying this amazing view that I'm looking at. And if I let my fear overcome me, I would have never been able to experience that. And there's a lot of things that people are afraid of. They're afraid of traveling by themselves. I was afraid of traveling by myself. Am I going to get lost? Am I going to lose my seat? Am I going to be late for the flight? Am I going to lose my baggage? All these things can still happen even if you are traveling with a group of people.
Yeah, of course. It's how you look at
being
these things.
Single. People are afraid of being single. People are afraid of being married. People are afraid of getting divorces. People are afraid of checking out on another relationship. People are afraid their children are going to leave them. People are afraid of empty nesters. What are you going to say?
Yeah. With this book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, and how I saw that, and seeing it in a different perspective, it's don't feel fear and do it anyway. You know what I mean? You can, allowing yourself to feel the fear is also feeding it.
Well, that's what the book is saying. You want to inherit the author is Susan Jeffers, and she is saying you do want to feel it because if you don't experience it, then you don't know what it's like,
what it is
to overcome it.
Right, to identify
because
it.
When you overcome it, it is so much more rewarding.
Yeah.
Okay? I wanted to read this. 5 truths about fear. The fear will never go away as long as I continue to grow. The only way to get rid of the fear of doing something is to go out and do it. Yes, it is, like I said, it's scary when I went on that freaking chairlift. But I did it, and that was my first time in Italy. That was 9 years ago. The only way to feel better about myself is to go out and do it. I've already read that. I am going to feel fear whenever I do something new, but so will everyone else. Pushing through fear is less frightening than living with the basic fear that comes from feeling of helplessness. So, and she just has all these other exercises too. I got this on Amazon. I don't know, $9 on
I like
Amazon.
the simple form of it.
Yeah, very.
Anyone can read it.
And I've been reading this every day, different excerpts for every day. Part of my meditation, because I do my meditation in the morning. I do my stretches because I'm an old lady. This
You're a
back, the
fabulous
sciatica,
lady,
sciatica is something
We're
else.
not old. We're getting older.
I am.
But we're not old.
I was born in 1972.
I was born in 1964. I'm one of those boomers, and I'm about to boom
Are you
on
considered
out.
a boomer? Or are you considered an early Gen Xer?
It depends on who's doing the study, and I've heard both.
Okay.
64 is the cutoff date for boomers,
Okay,
and Gen Xers is 64.
got it. So you could be the
I'm a cusper, like
a cusper.
a cusp. I'm
A
on the
cusp. Oh, in the cusp.
Like
Got it.
I'm a Virgo. I'm a Leo Virgo based on the day. I'm 2
Got
days
it.
in, so I'm a cusper on that too. So I'll take it.
Well,
Yeah.
you don't act like you're 60, that's for sure. You definitely don't
No.
look like you're 60. You have a
No.
young heart and a young mind, and you have so much energy.
Yeah.
So that's why you're loved by so many people. But that's why it's like, so you wanted to talk about what you're transitioning. You literally are you text me that you're like, I want to talk about my transition. I'm like, what?
Yes,
Are we
and
going to be transitioning?
my pronouns are he, ha, ha.
I'm like, oh my god, what are we calling you, Kirkina?
No, I decided my porn name, which is Key Gray.
Key Gray. Key Gray is your porn name?
Yeah. I
Why
mean, to
Key
make
Gray?
Well, it's Ki, the first 2 letters of my first name, and then GRE is the last letters of my, but the first 3 letters of my last name.
What's Key Gray? Is it just Key Gray like Madonna, or do you have a last name?
It's just Key Gray,
Just Key Gray?
alter ego.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll look that up in a few years
Yeah.
on OnlyFans.
Can you imagine 72?
No, I don't want to
And work
imagine
in
you
it?
on freaking OnlyFans.
No.
Please do not
No.
do that. No.
No.
Um,
It's good for people who do because you can make a big living from doing that. But no judgment.
So, with this new venture that you're working on, what are any exciting clients that you've been meeting?
Yes, my first client, Keno Ryder, who I told you he's the realtor.
That was years ago, though.
Yeah, but I still work with him.
Okay.
He's been one of my main clients in the staging world, but he's also turned me on to clients that are needing design help.
Okay,
And home design
great.
help, and I'm his biggest fan, which I love, and I'm his biggest fan. He turned me on to his recent client who bought a condo. Her name is Nefertari Spencer. She's a very up-and-coming, pretty established actress. She's amazing, wonderful to work with.
What have I seen her in?
Loved her. She is. I can't-
Nefertari Spencer. I'll go look her up. I'll have to IMDb her.
Yes, yeah. When we're moving, she's got like director chairs, and then all of her the different shows that she's working on. I
Okay.
think she's got like 3 shows that she's working on, and they just changed the covers on the back of the seat.
Yeah.
To her name and the show that she's on.
Right.
I'm not a big TV watcher as far as sitcoms and things like that. But I like not knowing who people are. They're people.
They're people.
They're just people.
Yeah.
And going into her place, she was very great. You're very comfortable to be in, and this is my space. And she goes, I have no idea if this is going to work. I might have to get all new furniture because I don't know how. We did a little video in her. She's like, can you get this off a video? I'm like, yeah, just pan the room and let me see what you got. Blah blah blah. So I was like, yeah, we'll make it work. And she showed me the video of her place. We get in there and she's like, the movers are coming, and I've been up all night thinking this is probably not going to fit. Well, my assistant and I, couple floor plan changes and just kind of moving things around. And I was like, you want to come into the room? Because she's unpacking boxes, putting her clothes in her closet and that kind of thing, not really paying attention to us. She's like, you do your thing and just let me know when you want me to come and look. And I was like, hey, Neff, can you come in and take a look?
Hey, Neff.
Yeah, well, her friends were calling her Neff too. And
Okay.
I was like, hey, can I call you Neff too? She goes, of course. Yeah, of course. So I was like, hey, Neff, you want to come in and take a look at the living room? She comes in, she goes, you nailed it. I love what you did with the art and my mom's picture, and this is so good.
That's so
oh
great.
my God. Okay, where are you on to next? I said, we're going to do the guest room now. She's like, can you use any of these things? And I'm like, maybe. We go and do the whole guest room. And I said, come on and take a look at the guest room. Her friends had come over to help her, and they all go in, and they're like, you had those in another room, and this rug was in another room. And she goes, look how good that looks together. And I was like, to me, it's a very easy fix. I see it,
Yeah.
done.
When
Put it
we
there.
don't have the eye as civilians, we don't know,
Yeah.
and we're so used to a certain look but we have you come in
Yeah.
as a professional who has a certain eye, and that's why you get hired.
Yeah.
And we
And
trust
so
you.
at the end of the day, we walked through everything, and I said, now, do we need to shop? And she goes, I don't think so.
Oh,
You
cool.
made everything work.
Very
And
cool.
I was like, damn. I'm too good. I just cheated myself. But in the end, she was just kind of like, I'm already texting photos to my friends telling
That's
them,
wonderful.
you need him in your place because I've been over
That's
there.
wonderful.
You need help.
That's
so
wonderful.
She's like, I'm already pimping you out. So I'm like, that's
wonderful.
how it all starts.
That's good.
Word of mouth, and here we go.
Tell the audience, tell the broads how they can contact you.
You can go onto my website at decorrevamp.com. You can see some of the stagings that I've done before and afters. There's also a design page where you can look at, just recently redid a 1920s bathroom, a Spanish bathroom. We made all the bedrooms en suites as opposed to halls and just a spare bathroom.
Okay.
So we rearranged the walls and we turned a closet into a shower and then did a linen closet behind the shower for the hallway. So it's just reconfiguring the space. And we were doing this to sell.
Yeah.
And it turned out so great. He loved it so much. Now somebody is paying, I think, $19,000 a month to live in this house.
Get out of here. So
it's
if you got
gorgeous,
this is
right?
perfect for people who own homes, and if you can't sell it because again the market, people who want to get into the Airbnb business, people who need staging for their Airbnb or just decorating ideas for their apartments, their condos, their homes. Remember, just because you may not own the property doesn't mean you're limited to reinvent it
and revamping it.
Hello,
yes.
Decor
Keyword.
Revamp. Yes. and are you on Instagram?
I am on Instagram. Social media, I'm not a huge fan. It's more of a word of mouth and the meet and greet.
But you are on the Instagram.
But I am on.
What is your Instagram?
I am on social media. Decor Revamp.
Okay.
Decor
I'll make sure,
Revamp.
Simeon, when we do the video, that all your content information is on the bottom, and people can contact you.
Perfect.
So we are going to cut for break on our next segment. So stay tuned, and we will be right back. Thank you, Kirk.
My pleasure. Love you.
This is my handsome. Oops.
The hair.
We gotta watch the hair. Dr. Alexi, he will take care of you. He's not only my dentist, but he's also a dear friend of mine. Him and his husband. Oh, thank you, honey.
Love you.
So you're taking care of me. Your staff takes care of me. He's the one this is the reason why my smile is so nice, because of him.
Bye.
Good morning. So I'm at my favorite dental office, Exquisite Dentistry.
Good morning.
And we're doing the deep cleaning today. I just thought I was doing a regular check, but I forgot it was the deep cleaning. So they're going to numb me. Mm-hmm. And because I'm such a dental chicken and such a baby, I'm actually going to have my favorite nitrous. Yay! And she always takes care of me. This is the dental hygienist.
Hello.
That's here at Dr. Alexi's office. And this office, if you guys get a chance, it's like a spa. It's gorgeous. It's serene. It's peaceful. And all the staff is just incredibly professional and nice.
Nice to see you.
Yeah. So I love to travel, and I just got back from a fabulous trip with
another fabulous
trip. I've done a lot of traveling this year, and it's only
so great
June.
Yeah.
And we are embarking into the end of July, and I will be going on another trip soon.
And
we'll talk about that later.
Doing that. Yes.
Well, again, it's like that's my joy.
Yeah.
That's my joy. I don't have any kids. I'm not married. I work my butt off, and I work when I'm traveling too. I bring that computer when I'm traveling, and that's why I do well. I'm not gonna lie. Good job, Shannon. So my fruits of bearing witness to that is to travel and to experience the world until I can't.
Yeah.
So I came from Vienna, Berlin, and Prague, and we were there for about 2 weeks, and I went to my good friend's weddings in New York. So our first trip was Germany, and I went with my friends Tasha and Elizabeth, and we had a cute little Airbnb, super cute rooftop access in the middle of the city center of Berlin, and we were only there for 3 days. And so unfortunately Tasha got a little sick, so she wasn't able to enjoy the entire city, but we were able to experience a little river cruise. Me and Elizabeth went and saw the Berlin Wall, which was really fascinating, and just how diverse Berlin has gotten. It went from 1940s, communist Berlin, Nazi Berlin, to now this art loving, super cool music, open-minded, museums upon museums. Berlin, the weather was
when you're held down for so long,
insanely
there's no
perfect.
only way to go is up and out.
Right. And the wall, it's not as tall as you think it is. It's
right.
probably it was only 8 or 9 feet.
6 or 8 feet.
But people were killed horribly by being
Yeah.
even close to the wall back
Yeah.
in the 1930s, 1940s. Oh no, when did the wall get up? After the wall, after the World War II.
Yeah.
So it was just, the wall has a horrible history of just murdering people. But then when it came out and was and torn down in the late 80s with Gorbachev and
remember
Reagan, remember that? That was such
Yeah.
an history. We were kids
Historic.
and watching that on the news. It was historic. So it really brought a lot of, Berlin's very proud of how it's changing. Revamped. Yeah. Oh, hello. We need to do a decor revamp in Germany. 100%.
Yeah.
Food was great. We did the meat pies. I'm not a
Yum.
beer drinker, but the minute we got there, Tasha's like, we got to get a beer. And I was like, oh, God. And I had a Hefeweizen, which was actually quite delicious.
Yeah.
And just there. And then so Tosh also had an idea. Instead of taking a train to go to meet our other group in Prague, she found this company that does individual car rides to the next destination. So
That's huge over there.
it was
Yeah.
awesome. So
Yeah.
this one lady, she owns her own business, and she partners with another company. She picked us up in a station wagon or an SUV, whatever. She picked us up from Berlin, and we traveled 9 hours to Prague. We saw
In a car?
in a car with our luggage. It was so fun, Kirk.
Yeah.
It was a road trip.
I can imagine.
It was a road trip. We went to oh good Lord, this is what I get for
I
not
was
doing
thinking
my
back, my butt's
Oh,
going
my back
numb.
was hurting, but
Oh,
we
yeah.
got to do 3 stops, including lunch.
Oh, that's good.
We went to
Okay.
Dresden for lunch. We went to another castle and walked over there. We went and saw these other ruins. And I forgot this era, the other era. This is what I forgot to do my research. It was on the way to Prague. It was just a mountainous region.
Mm-hmm.
And you could do hiking there, but we only just saw the views and everything. So I'll put that up there. I'll send Simeon some footage of what we did. So that was a 9-hour trek, and then we met the rest of the group, Singles in Paradise, for the rest of the trip in Prague. We were in Prague for 4 days. We went and did the cathedrals and castles,
Nice.
and then we went to Vienna, and we had the amazing opportunity to get a private tour of the Vienna Opera House.
Ooh.
Private tour. We weren't with the regular folk. Oh
Right,
no.
right.
And we were able to go on the rooftop. People don't go on the rooftop of the Vienna Opera House, and we saw the whole city.
Wow.
Just the history of the Vienna Opera House. Set into the seats. We were able to hang out in where the balconies, where the rich people would hang out.
That's awesome.
We saw, and so the Vienna Opera House has plays or shows every day,
Mm-hmm.
and they're different shows. So they
Wow.
rotate every 9 or
The
8
production changes every day.
every day.
Wow.
There's 1,000 employees that work there,
Wow.
and there's a different show every day, and I think it's in rotation every 15 days. I believe that is. I could be
Wow.
wrong. Please correct me if wrong, but it's a season, and each show is different every day. So every day someone's working on a
That's
new production.
amazing.
So imagine you in production. You're a set designer.
Yeah.
Imagine the hours that go into
Oh, yeah.
changing a set
Oh, yeah.
for every show.
Yep.
That's insane. It was
Endless hours.
wonderful.
But they probably got paid way more money.
Oh, I
and
don't
they're
know.
probably well deserved.
They're
Thank you.
yeah,
Good
I think they're
job.
doing well.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah.
So and so you can be a member there and whatever.
That's great.
So it was wonderful. And then we the next night I went to this jazz show, and we saw what's her name? Her name, it was Jane Monette, Monheit. There was this really cool jazz club called Porgy and Bess, and it was a Jane Monette. She's an actual American jazz singer, and she was on tour, so we went to go see her live perform. It was so nice. People in Vienna, they love their jazz. They love jazz. So it was really interesting stay. Our potos were great. The weather was a little muggier in Austria. It was a little over humidity. Very busy. I really didn't enjoy Vienna, the city, because it was like going to LA.
Yeah.
Very busy, very commercialized, but outskirts of Vienna, gorgeous,
Beautiful.
absolutely gorgeous. Then from there, I had to leave the group and go to my friend's wedding. Colin and Adam's, their wedding was in New York, in Leeds, in the Catskills.
Wow.
So I was able to bring my plus one
Girl.
Ellen, and we had this. We rented this Airbnb in Leeds, which was like 2 minutes from the wedding venue. And Colin and Adam had this idyllic wedding based in this gorgeous Catskills and the hills of upper New York. A lot of people don't think that New York is really gorgeous. New York is really a gorgeous state.
It is.
It's not just Manhattan. It's not New York. It's not New York City. New York, Northern
New
New York
York.
is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it was just green and hilly and foresty, and we had the cute little shops in Leeds and the Catskills. Hudson was the nearby town went to. But Colin and Adam's wedding, the first night was a celebration of all family and friends getting together. They had this Greek cuisine that was brought in, delicious. Their friends own this Airbnb, so Marcus owns this Airbnb in Leeds. It was like it's like colonial, a colonial type of design, 3-bedroom. The bathrooms in this place was just gorgeous. You would die.
I'm sure
Being
I
an
would
interior
love
designer.
being there.
The way that he designed this property was ridiculous. Acres of land. Their food, they had their cocktails was in an airstream, and
Love it.
yeah, it was an airstream cocktail. It was awesome.
Love it.
Then they just had pictures, opportunities, and then the next day was the wedding. And the whole theme of the wedding. Look at my time's already up. The whole theme of the wedding was the men wore suspenders. And I wore one of my kaftans because I just wanted to be comfortable and everything. But it was just everybody had a cute little, it was a cute little idyllic area. And that place with the wedding was also an Airbnb boutique home, and it was just gorgeous pianos and just the tapestries, and it was by a running river. The freaking ceremony was by a running river. It was just gorgeous. Wonderful. So thank you, Adam and Colin, for inviting me. I'm still working on the videos and the pictures, and wanted to give them this really cool video that I created for them. But so wonderful wedding, wonderful, luxurious accommodations that they had. So thank you again. You wanted to talk about a restaurant that you discovered recently in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, it's called Matu. And they have a Philly Philly cheesesteak sandwich that is like off the chain. And the meat that they use is called First Light. Now, I just came on to this First Light meat. The cows are very happy. They're, grazing, and they're in the fields, and they're processed. What they go on to next, it's not a traumatic experience.
So the meat's tender and juicy, and I got to check it out.
I mean,
it was an experience.
Every bite was an experience.
Ooh, I can't wait.
And I was like, I've never tasted
Is it
anything like
fast
this.
Is it like a fast food joint, or was it like an actual sit-down restaurant?
The steak, they shave it.
Yeah, but is it a sit-down restaurant? Is it fast food joint? Is it like a cafe?
It's like a sit-downy kind of place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they have kind of both. I haven't been there yet, but that's the new thing that since I've tried this type of meat, my sister found the one. She goes, "We should go check that out in Beverly Hills." Yeah, totally.
Let's go, definitely.
And then Joey's Cafe is another favorite little spot of mine. That's when we backtrack about being by myself. That was part of my COVID challenge, and part of my cleansing was to go be somewhere by myself in public and not feel like there's something wrong with me.
Right.
People are gonna, oh, that poor guy's by himself. And Joey's Cafe, they all know me by my porn name. What's better than that, And they're like, Key Gray. I'm like, yeah.
Key Gray.
Key Gray's in the house.
Key Gray. I want to
Great
talk
food.
about this other really cool revolution that's going on in Los Angeles. There's this company called Miev Pizza. Amazing. They don't even have a brick and mortar. They're so busy. So what they did is very ingenious. They started on Instagram, and they use this an app called Hot Plate. And so what they do is that they announce pizza drops. So you go and
to a location
to pick up this pizza. This is artisan handmade pizza. The pizza is insane. So you go on the app and they'll say like, okay, we're gonna drop this pepperoni. I bought last week. It was called the carbonara pie.
You died.
I died. They put this carbonara sauce with this fig jam. So what you get the savory and the taste with the cheese and the oh my god, the Parmesan cheese.
That already sounds amazing.
It was amazing. Of course, I ate the whole damn thing.
Hey, nothing wrong
so
with
they
that.
do these drops twice a week, maybe, because they make their homemade dough, and they only make 70 pounds of it. And when they make their own dough, you got to read it to rise and yeast and everything. So
and you have to cook it and serve it.
Right, and so but they're doing it on a first come first served basis because they don't have a true brick and mortar yet.
Right.
So they've been doing it on their
God,
home.
The overhead must be so.
It's only I think it's only the chef and one person and the sous chef.
Genius.
And then they're doing their own marketing. It is absolutely genius. So when they do their drop, they
Wow.
send you a text saying, "Hey Shannon, we're going to drop our new pizza. You can pick it up tomorrow, but you got to get on that line." Girl, there's a waiting list of thousands of people on
I
this
bet.
waiting list.
I
So
bet.
there's been so many opportunities where missed opportunities where I'm like, "Damn it, they sell out." They would sell out in 3 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Pizza.
Uh-huh.
This is not sex. They're
Yeah.
selling pizza.
Hey,
But you feel
I
like
have an
you're
idea. Let's bring the two together.
pizza and
Entrepreneurial
sex?
mind at work.
We're always thinking, Kirk. Entrepreneurs
Yeah.
are always thinking. Anyways, it's called Mieve, Mieve. Check them out on Instagram. I think their Instagram is eat.miev, I believe. We'll put it on the thing. I'll have Simeon post it on there. But get to following them because they have really amazing concoctions of pizza. They sell also homemade cookies, and I think they sell. I don't know if they. I don't, you know what? Let me back that up. But I think it was homemade cookies they did last week, and I missed that opportunity. But every week they do a drop, and you got to get on the app, order the pizza,
And get there.
because they say it's going to be ready tomorrow at 5 p.m. or Sunday right at 5 p.m.
And you have to get there the day before at 5 p.m. and camp out. That's a whole new experience there, too, you know?
Pizza, right? No, it's not like
Yeah.
that. The point is that you got to be on your phone because it'll sell out in 2 minutes.
Wow.
So
That's great.
I think they have a pizza
Great
drop this
share.
Sunday. I know, right?
Totally
So
great share.
I hope they can become a sponsor. Hi,
Hey.
Mia. Would love you to sponsor our show. Always looking for new sponsors.
Exactly.
But yeah, the pizza's to die for. Like I literally said, this is probably the best pizza I've ever had.
That's great.
It's
and of all the
delicious.
places you've ever been?
Yeah, all the places I've ever been.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, real quick, let's get into a 60-second tea. What about this Kim Kardashian or Kris Jenner
my
church
God.
you saw?
Okay, so really quick, 60 seconds. Can I do it? Kris Kardashian founded a church in
Kris Jenner, you mean?
I mean, Kris Jenner founded a church in 2004.
Okay.
Or 2000. Yeah, I think it was 2004 or 2014. This church has it's in a business, like a commercial building, and it just has California Community Church. The website looks like I did it, you know, and I'm not that savvy. And you have to pay $1,000 a month to be a member,
What?
and you give her 10% of your earnings.
This is
Okay.
what you read.
This is what, and it's out there.
Okay.
It's out there. People have been into their churches, and you can go on YouTube and just, you know, search it, and there'll be several things that have come up.
Search Kris Jenner church.
Yeah, Kris Jenner Church, and there'll be people that have
And
investigated
it's $1,000 a month to join the church.
You know, and everything is, you know, theoretically or apparently is, but that's what that's what the word is.
Is it non-denominational?
It's non-denominational,
Okay.
and it's very. To me, it sounds like a reinvention of Scientology.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Reinvention. So Kris, and then their services are down the street at the Sheraton Hotel in the ballroom. And she's there maybe sometimes, you know, speaking and talking about, you know, how good this is going to be and how this can change your life and
Oh my
blah, blah,
goodness.
blah.
So another
So
scam.
P. Diddy got into, well, him funneling his money. When they raided his house, they found documents of his money going into the church and then coming out another way, being funneled. So now the mom is putting money into the church that comes out to the kids and goes into the businesses so that it becomes tax-free.
Yeah.
So this woman is Devil Wears Prada. And she hides her horns very well,
Oh.
you know.
And this is documented, so we're not going to be sued for this hearsay.
No, I
this
mean,
is what
this
you
is-
read. This is what you see on
This
YouTube.
is what I read. I looked it up I looked up their church,
Mhm.
and you know, it says come for a visit, but you have to, you know.
So that's tea.
Yeah, it's tea.
It's tea.
You know, so you kind of, and that's what they say, to be a member, you have to provide. You make enough money to be in this,
So that's $12,000 a year.
Yeah.
Oh.
and then 10% of your earnings goes into the
No,
church.
so that's almost
so you
like.
pay to go, and then you pay to stay.
So they do that with the Mormon church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just a reinvention of these money-making.
And this is the reason
Scams.
why people want to get away from religion.
Yeah.
Or organized religion because of this situation that brings
It gives
other
Jesus
organized
a bad
religion
name.
bad.
It gives Allah
Yes,
a bad
absolutely,
name. It gives
absolutely.
Buddha a bad name. It gives all of those. You
Yeah.
know, all of them.
It's called a cult.
Cult.
That's what it is. It's cult
Yeah.
minded
And people buy it.
because they got nothing else.
Yeah.
You know, when you
And that's
have that kind of money or time or you don't have an outlook of life, you follow cults.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into it, but we have a big cult with
That's
a big
another
T.
episode. No,
Did you watch the debates the other day? It was horrible.
I couldn't.
Oh, it was horrible.
I can't.
We're not going to go in there.
Yeah.
But that whole other cult, if you guys know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
redonk.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Read it.
Read it.
And don't weep.
We'll be right back. I wanted to mention, what is it that you brought here, Kirk?
Oh, so health.
It looks a little
health and beauty
suspicious.
tip.
Little
It's-
sus.
It's homemade.
You
basically.
made this.
I made it myself.
What is it?
Yeah. It is beef tallow. And
Tallo?
Tallow.
Tallow.
Beef tallow.
Okay.
And it is the fat that is around the organs of the
cow.
animal. And it is the most purest form of collagen, vitamin A, all those rich nutrients that your skin needs, to be youthful and
Okay.
supple. So Indians used it when they were, when they would kill their meat for their families. They used everything. The
Yeah.
fur would clothe them in the winter or made their tents. And
You said the
beef
indigenous
tallow-
people in Alaska.
indigenous people in Alaska, like in the seals and things that they would use for food, they used everything.
Mm-hmm.
And this was put on their skin and to
keep them
protect moisturize and keep the heat in
Or the cold out.
or the cold out.
Got it.
So the cosmetic industry has really put a bad name on this
Because it's not
because
vegan.
it's not vegan, number one, and number two, it's very inexpensive and it
Oh,
lasts
it
a
is?
long time. Yeah.
So, are
So
you
cooking it down, I mean, when you open up the jar and you originally get it, it smells like
It smells
hamburger.
it smells like lard.
Well, you can.
Can you put essential
yes,
oils
you
in
put
here
you can put it
to
this
make
is
it
my-
smell really good?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is just my first time. I wanted to cook it down
You
all the way.
made this yourself.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna try it.
So I cooked it down 3 times, and it pulls all the impurities out, so that it doesn't have. I mean, it does have somewhat of a. Like
now
a
you
lard
know
smell,
me and
but it's
shea
not
butters,
strong.
Napoli natural shea butters all day long. So
Oh,
with
for
this,
sure.
would this
These
be
that's
something?
amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the shine and look at the moisture in my skin.
Yeah.
We don't do ashy over here. We like to be nice and moisturized
and
over
I have
here.
eczema really bad.
I
and
do
I
too.
had a really bad.
I do too.
I had a really bad breakout on my leg, and I was going to the doctor, just putting all that. He just keep putting it on, and when it comes up, put it on. It'll go away.
Okay.
Well, it's never come back.
So this is something
6
you
months I've been
tried
using this.
yourself.
Yes.
And you don't
You
need a
can do it
lot.
yourself. You don't need a lot.
Beef tallow. Okay, so now I don't want to be smelling like a piece of hamburger meat.
No.
Okay.
Right.
It does need something.
Well, that's what I didn't want to add anything to it.
Okay.
I just wanted to see what it cooked down to and what the scent
So
was.
this is your first time trying this?
Yeah, and to me, I don't think it smells bad at all.
It smells like I was cooking just now. It smells like I just
So
made some hamburgers.
I could probably do one more cook down on it.
100,
To
and then
pull
put some
out anything else. And
essential
that's
oils
what
you can get from
do.
Napoli Naturals.
Yes.
So
you can add anything to it.
I would put like
anything.
lavender
Yeah.
or frankincense in here for
But
your skin.
I didn't want to put any oils in it because I wanted to see how it cleared up my skin. And I have it here, and I have it on my
so that's
nose.
your test.
And it was really hard. My skin will get really hard, and if I don't protect it, it becomes really flaky and it turns
Well,
red.
honey, keep practicing.
This has been great, and I've noticed this in my skin, in the difference in my skin.
Tell us how
Just
it is and how long you've been
feeling
doing
it.
this.
Probably like 4 or 6 months now.
4 or 6 months.
Mhm.
So you already see a huge difference
I
in your
see
skin.
it. Yep.
All
I
right.
can see it when I put it on.
Keep
after
that-
showering because
Keep
our
that
water's so hard.
and let it keep practicing
Yeah.
and let us know because that could be on the market.
Yeah.
I'm sure Napoli Naturals or
add
Sharon
some
might
oil
be
to
interested
it.
in taking a look at that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm gonna get
Wrap it up.
Sharon back on the show anyway because she's got some new things happening, some new announcements. And you know Sharon, and you love her shea butter as
so
well.
Good.
So I want to say thank you for being on the show.
My pleasure.
It was fun having
Yeah,
you.
totally.
We are friends for years,
Yes.
but I wanted to, you came out to me last week and said, I want to be on the show. I said, good, because I had other clients or other guests, they were flaky. So I'm like, let's put you on the show instead.
Yeah.
And I'm so
And it was
glad
way
you're here.
better.
It much better. Yeah, I think so too. Thank you for being here. Thank
My
you for being
pleasure. Yes,
my
babe.
really good friend. You've been there for my
Yes.
mom and my dad.
Yes.
You know my brother very well.
Yep.
So you are a family friend. Kirk is a family
Family.
friend.
Yes.
We are family.
Yeah. I got my sisters with me.
I got my brother with me. So thank you so much
Yeah, my
for being
pleasure.
here. We really appreciate
Anytime.
that.
Anytime. Follow
Kirk-
up maybe.
Yeah, follow absolutely.
Yeah.
One more time, how do we find you again on the socials and your contact?
DecorRevamp.com. That's the website. You can see what I do and what I can do. Social media is Instagram Decor Revamp. It's
Are you on Facebook?
Facebook, Decor Revamp. It's, the business name, and you can look that up.
Great.
Some of the things I haven't posted on in a while, but it's there.
It's there.
Yeah, it's there.
And then you can find me, ShanShan, QueenShanShan on Instagram, Abroad Podcast on Instagram, as well as Abroad Productions, abroadproductions.com. And see our other shows and listen to our other shows if you hadn't had a chance. Remember, we're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, we're on iHeartRadio, and the most popular brand of advertising, YouTube. So you can actually see all of our shows on YouTube as well if you need to catch up on our 60, because today is our 60th episode.
60th
on our
episode
last
and
59th
turning 60.
episodes. Yes, and he's turning 60 in August. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Crazy.
So
I want to say thank you again for tuning in, watching us, and always thank you for listening to Abroad.